Chapter 4295. Unless you tell President Su in person and he agrees, we'll approve it immediately. Damn it. I came to you because I don't want to tell President Su. Han Yueyao was devastated. She really didn't want to borrow money from Su Yu. Especially after she confessed her love to him, she felt it was humiliating. However, from the company's words, she could only borrow money from him if Su Yu personally agreed. It was inhumane. Han Yueyao dawdled in the finance department for a long time and was finally sent away by her colleagues. Then, dejected, she followed her agent to shoot a commercial. When she came back, it was already afternoon. Is President Su in the company? The moment she came back, she asked the receptionist at the door. Yes, the receptionist answered with a smile. Oh, okay. Han Yueyao was thinking about how to tell Su Yu. But if she didn't ask, Lin Heng wouldn't be able to hold on for long and the medical fees wouldn't be enough. It was a common disease in China, especially for uremia, which required frequent dialysis. With a lot on her mind, Han Yueyao went upstairs to the president's office. Is President Su in? Yes. Shaowen even looked at her with a hint of longing in his eyes. Is he in there alone? Han Yueyao was still worried. Oh, Miss Nye is in. Miss Nye? Nye Lingxian? Han Yueyao was surprised. Yeah, Miss Nye seems to have accepted a movie and is discussing the details with President Su. Oh. I'll come later. Don't. You can go in. You're not an outsider. And chuckled. Damn it. Why do you sound so weird? To be honest, go in. Otherwise, President Su will go out to socialize and you won't be able to see him today. Do you have something to do? Yes. I have something to do. Han Yueyao nodded like a woodpecker. Then go in quickly. Master, and why don't I ask you, can you do me a favor? Sure. Really? Han Yueyao was excited at Anne's quick answer. Well, other than borrowing money, I can help you with everything else. Say it. What is it? And looked at her in confusion. I'm fine. Master An was famous for being stingy. Perhaps it was because he came from a poor family, so he knew how to deposit his money in the bank, and it was the kind of deposit that was fixed. Therefore, Shaowen wouldn't borrow money casually. Especially after being cheated by the girl from Yao Yiyao, he was traumatized. So he stopped her from saying anything. She thought for a while and decided not to tell him. She would think of a way or borrow some from Sister Mian. However, just as she was about to turn and leave, the office door opened. Shaowen, go get me a copy of the company's movie proposal for the second half of the year. Su Yu said. Why are you here? Su Yu was surprised to see Han Yueyao acting so sneakily. I came to talk to you. What are you talking about? I'm busy. If you have something to say, say it. If not, scram. Su Yu's attitude toward Han Yueyao was obviously different from Nye Lingshuan's. Although he was nice and gentle to Nye Lingxian, he was obviously distant. He was more casual with Han Yueyao. Although he was rude, it was obvious that they were close. Su Yu, it's an emergency. What do you mean? Su Yu looked puzzled when he heard Han Yueyao's soft murmur. Chapter 4296. Lend me some money. Finally, to help her friend, Han Yueyao had no choice but to ask. No, Su Yu refused immediately. Damn it. You refused without hesitation. What else can I do? Do you think I should be more tactful? Su Yu looked down at her. President Su, the great President Su, the best boss in history. Stop flattering me. I'm really in a hurry. Come in. Seeing Han Yueyao wasn't joking, Su Yu beckoned her to come in. When Han Yueyao walked in, she saw Nye Lingxian was wearing a princess dress that was black on the top and white on the bottom. Looked like a cake. She was truly stunning. As expected of a superstar. Ho, my idol. Han Yueyao greeted Nye Lingxian warmly. Nye Lingxian smiled and greeted her back. President Su, since you're busy, let's talk later. Nye Lingxian stood up. Go ahead. I'll read the proposal and give you an answer. Thank you, President Su. Nye Lingxian stood up gracefully with her Chanel handbag. She smiled at Han Yueyao and turned to leave the office. Tell me, why do you need money? After Nye Lingxian left, Su Yu relaxed a lot. He could talk freely with Han Yueyao since she wouldn't get angry. The food in our company isn't good recently. Han Yueyao made it up. Tell me the truth. Su Yu knew she was bullshitting when he saw her expression. One of my friends is in the hospital and needs surgery. I don't have enough money. Where's your money? I saved some for my parents and used the rest to pay for the hospital fees. Han Yueyao lowered her head and tried to relax. But she was still a little embarrassed. After all, she was borrowing money from the person she liked. Go on. Suyu looked at the data on his laptop and listened to Han Yueyao. Then, this morning I went to the finance department to borrow money. I didn't want to trouble you, but the finance department refused and said they needed your approval. Borrow money from the finance department? You're really something, Han Yueyao. I don't have a choice either, do I? Saving lives is more important. Which friend? Why don't I remember having any friends here? Suyu frowned and tried hard to think, but he still couldn't think of anything. Even if I tell you don't know him, what's the point of asking? Just tell me if you want to lend it to me or not. Is this the tone of someone borrowing money? Suyu laughed. Han Yueyao didn't speak. How much do you need? 100,000 will do. Han Yueyao gestured. Look at how useless you are. You have millions of fans on Weibo now. You're very popular. If you just accept any commercial, you'll earn more than 100,000 yuan. You even shamelessly went to the finance department to borrow money. Tell me, is this how an idol star should behave? I'm not an idol. I've been following the path of strength. Han Yueyao stuck out her tongue. President Su, can you call the finance department? I only need 100,000 yuan, Han Yueyao urged. I can't afford to lose face. I'll lend you the money as a private loan. Then Suyu waved his hand and wrote a check. Here. Thank you, President Su. Seeing Suyu write a check, Han Yueyao thought he looked very handsome. She took the check and was dumbfounded. So much. I don't need so much. Han Yueyao looked at the number on the check. Chapter 4297. 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 7 digits, 1 million. Holding the 1 million yuan check from Suyu, Han Yueyao was stupefied. Take it. Don't embarrass yourself in the finance department. If you don't have enough money, just tell me. I'm not afraid that you'll run away. Your salary is still in the company, Suyu chuckled. You're indeed an unscrupulous capitalist. You just took the money and called me a capitalist. You're really good at kicking me to the curb after I've outlived my usefulness. Buddy, you're awesome. Taking the money, Han Yueyao ran out happily. Suyu shook his head helplessly. She's a moody kid after all. After the twins went on their trip, everyone felt like something was missing. Buin wasn't in the mood for tutoring. During the winter vacation, he went to visit his relatives in the south with his grandparents. Wei Yunchu was a homebody. During the vacation, he read books and played games at home. When Jiang Shaowei went to work sometimes, Wei Yunchu would go to the Municipal Public Security Bureau with his mom. He had a good life. Wei Ying took care of Tian Tian all the time. They were very close to each other. Tian Tian liked to talk to Wei Yunchu and sent him WeChat messages from time to time. Of course, she sent the messages under Wei Ying's WeChat account. She even liked his posts on Weibo. One day, Jiang Shaowei drove to work at the Municipal Public Security Bureau. After all, she was a psychologist hired by the Municipal Public Security Bureau. Therefore, the treatment was very good. There was a very big office. The inside of the office was made of transparent tempered glass. The view was very good. Standing on the top floor of the office, she could see the surrounding scenery. Yunchu, I'm going to work. If you want to watch a movie, remember to put on your headphones. Okay, Mom. Wei Yunchu sat down and played with his tablet. Obediently, he put on his headphones. At this moment, Wei Yunchu's cell phone rang. He answered the call. Big brother Yunchu. On the other side of the screen was Little Bean's cheeky face. Little Bean. What are you doing? Big brother Yunchu. I'm in my mom's office at the Municipal Public Security Bureau. I see. What's up? Wei Yunchu was puzzled. It's nothing. Someone misses you and is too shy to send you a WeChat message. Little Bean said. Pudding kicked her butt from behind. What nonsense are you talking about, Chin Mumu? Pudding was a little embarrassed and annoyed. Sis, you're so violent. You're too nervous. Did I say that person was you? Uncle Tang Chuan. Uncle Tang Chuan also misses brother Yunchu very much. What's wrong with you? Pudding, isn't it inappropriate for you to assume that? Little Bean smirked. Little Bean, give the phone to your sister. Wei Yunchu ordered Little Bean like an adult. Sure, 500 red packets. You're blackmailing me. Wei Yunchu was speechless. Yes, it's extortion. So what? All right, 500 it is. After the deal was done, Little Bean handed the phone to her sister with a smile and watched from the side. After getting the phone, Pudding ran to the rooftop of the villa and locked the door, keeping Pudding outside. So that she wouldn't come here to gossip. Pudding, are you still in the States? Yeah, second Grandpa didn't want us to leave. After a few more days we'll fly to Paris, said Pudding. Is it fun there? It's good. The air is fresh and there's no smog. Wei Yunchu chuckled. What are you laughing at? Chapter 4298. Nothing. What about you? What have you been up to these days? Pudding asked. Nothing much. I had dinner with my grandparents and then went to the company with my dad. I was bored so I stayed at home to watch movies and play games. Today I came to the bureau with my mom. You're so obedient. What else? What about Tian? Stop it, I'm not. She's your relative. After all, she's your aunt's daughter. My aunt is the only one who's been fooled by her. To be honest, my parents and I don't like her. Why? She's a bitch. Wei Yunchu was a man of few words, but his comments were always accurate. He described Tian as a bitch. Although Pudding was expressionless, she was happy that Wei Yunchu wasn't fooled by the little girl. Little Bean and I are going to Disneyland tomorrow. Do you have anything you want to bring? Pudding asked. Do you want money? You don't have to pay. If you don't want money, I can. Why are you so stingy? Your family is so rich. The money isn't mine. It's my grandpa and dad's. I'm still young and can't make money. I don't have the right to spend extravagantly. Pudding appreciated Wei Yunchu's point of view. Then I'll buy you anything. I hope you don't mind. As long as it's from you, I'll accept anything. I won't mind. Pudding bit her lip shyly. When will you and Little Bean come back? I'm not sure yet. Dad arranged a lot of things for us. Auntie said, it'll take at least a month before we can go home. A month? Slate. Yeah. It'll take a long time. But my dad must have his reasons. I must listen to him. Okay, you can come to the States too. Yunchu, you're so good at speaking. You can communicate well. Pudding invited him. My grandparents might not agree. They're traditional and think it's dangerous there. I'm still young. If my parents don't go, they'll be worried if I go with someone else. You're right. I'll see you when we get back. Yes, have fun. Have fun. Don't catch a cold. The temperature difference there is big, right? Keep warm. See you later. After hanging up the phone, Wei Yunchu kept his promise and sent Little Bean a red packet of 500 yuan. Little Bean was quite surprised. Brother Yunchu, I was joking. Are you really going to give it to me? I always keep my word. Ha, you're so manly. I'm your fan now. Little Bean sent him a voice message. After Jiang Xiaowei finished analyzing the psychology of a suspect, she came out and saw her son having a video call with Pudding. He didn't disturb them and waited for a while. Jiang Xiaowei walked out. Son, not bad. You know how to flirt at such a young age. Don't talk nonsense, Mom. Spreading rumors is illegal. Ha, who's spreading rumors? It's the truth. Tell me, do you miss Pudding? Wei Yunchu blushed at his mother's question. My crown prince is blushing. Ha. Mom, you're not very busy today, are you? Go back to work, we'll mind our own business. Wei Yunchu pushed his mother into the office. At this moment, Gao Ran walked in. He took off his hat and was wearing a police uniform. Zoe. Chief Gao, why are you here? Jiang Xiaowei was surprised. Chapter 4299. Hello, Uncle Gao. Wei Yunchu greeted him immediately. Oh, you're here too? Yeah, it's the holidays so I came with my mom. Xiaowei, are you busy right now? Do you have work to do? Oh, I just finished one. Sup. Come here for a second, I have something to talk to you about. Gao Ran waved his hand and called Jiang Xiaowei over. In the corner of the office, the two of them stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window and looked at the busy traffic outside. Gao Ran asked, have you contacted Mian recently? Yeah, we talk a lot on WeChat. Did you notice anything wrong? Gao Ran tilted his head and looked at Jiang Xiaowei. Something's wrong. I didn't notice it, but Mian hasn't been in a good mood recently. She doesn't want to see me or Lingling. I know that the baby was a big blow to her, especially after Cici gave birth to her daughter. I suspect that she blocked Cici. When Cici posted pictures of the baby, she was the only one who didn't like them. But I can understand that. After all, Anyone who suffered so much would be sad. Other than that, there's something else that's very serious. What is it? Jiang Xiaowei was puzzled. Did you hear about her and Qin Chu? What about her and Qin Chu? Jiang Xiaowei obviously didn't know. They want a divorce. Jiang Xiaowei's mouth fell open when she heard the words, Gao Ran. No way. Divorce. Did you hear it wrong? No, I didn't. Who said that? Qin Chu or Mian? Jiang Xiaowei didn't know who it was. Gao Ran sighed slightly. Do you even need to ask? Of course it's Mian. Chu loves his wife so much, why would he want a divorce? But why? Even if she had a miscarriage, they wouldn't get a divorce. Are they serious? Jiang Xiaowei had always thought that this might be a joke. I'm not joking. I've seen Chu and Huamian and they don't seem to be in a good state. I think Chu is still the same Chu, but Huamian has been acting weird lately. I'm worried that she's anxious and depressed after losing her child, and if she keeps it all in, she'll become depressed over time. So I suggest that you ask Huamian out, not for a private gathering. You should ask her out for a psychological test or something and see what's going on. It's a good idea, but if she's willing to do it. Jiang Xiaowei thought that Huamin might reject it. Have a way. I can lure her here. You just need to check her, that's fine. Then I'll call her now. Gao Ran said as he walked out. Oh, today? Yeah. There's no time like the present. Let's do it today. Jiang Xiaowei didn't know what method Gao Ran used, but he did lure Huamin here. Huamin drove a red Ferrari here. Her driving style had changed recently. If it were in the past, she would never drive such a high-profile car. After Huamin went upstairs, he saw Gao Ran and Jiang Xiaowei at the door. You're all here. Yeah. Did you get the information I asked for? Gao Ran asked deliberately. Yeah. It's all here. Huamin handed a paper bag to Gao Ran. Hey Mian, you're here at the right time. I just got a new machine. Can you try it for me? What machine? Obviously she was very cautious. It's for stubborn insomnia. Gao Ran just tried it for me. Try it too. I need your feedback. Jiang Xiaowei pulled Huamin towards the space capsule. However, Huamin suddenly shook off her hand. Her reaction was very violent and she almost pushed Jiang Xiaowei down. Chapter 4300. Fortunately, Gao Ran was quick enough to catch Jiang Xiaowei. Mian. Jiang Xiaowei looked at Huamin in disbelief. They had known each other for so long, but Huamin had never gotten angry at Jiang Xiaowei. Now his reaction was so rude. At that moment, Jiang Xiaowei felt that the Huamin in front of her had become very strange. I'm sorry, Xiaowei. Mian, aren't you overreacting? What's wrong with you? Gao Ran was also suspicious. I don't like to touch the equipment in the hospital now. It's quite scary. Look, I rarely go to Southside in the first hospital. Maybe I'm against the hospital. I'm sorry, Xiaowei. Really, I didn't do it on purpose. It's okay, it's okay. Jiang Xiaowei was still in shock. After standing up straight, she looked at Huamin and felt that her explanation wasn't very convincing. Tell Xiaowei about Yuan Chu. She's a psychologist and can help you with psychological counseling. I think you haven't been in a good mood recently. Forget it. No one can help with this kind of thing. If there's nothing else, I'm leaving. I'm going shopping with my mom. You're leaving already? Jiang Xiaowei saw that she was about to leave. Xiaowei, let's meet another day. Bye. Huamin seemed to dislike the equipment in Jiang Xiaowei's room, so he didn't want to set foot in her office at all. He turned around and left in a hurry. Is really a little strange. I don't know. Looking at Huamin's back, Jiang Xiaowei's expression became complicated. Right? I knew she must be depressed recently. Otherwise she wouldn't be thinking about things all day long. She even said that she wanted a divorce. What nonsense. This couple is really troublesome. Gao Ran originally wanted to ask Jiang Xiaowei to give Huamin psychological counseling. However, Huamin refused to cooperate, so the matter was left unsettled. However, this incident left a knot in Jiang Xiaowei's heart. After all, he had interacted with Huamin too many times in the past, and he knew that Huamin was never like this. However, she didn't continue the discussion with Gao Ran. Instead, she kept her mouth shut. Sky Blessing Court. After Yang Meirong was discharged from the hospital, she was taken care of by 2 bodyguards and a personal nurse every day. Therefore, his physical condition had recovered quite well. Xixin, on the other hand, ran back and forth between home and the hospital to take care of the unconscious Bella. Huamin drove the Ferrari back to Sky Blessing Court. She took the key and opened the door, but as soon as she entered, he was startled by the dog that was pouncing on him. Woof woof woof. The dog pounced ferociously and tore at Huamin's sleeve mercilessly. In an instant she raised her foot and kicked the dog to the side. This kick used an extraordinary amount of strength, so after the dog screamed, it lay on its side on the floor and started twitching. What's going on? Yang Meirong was making dumplings with the nurse in the kitchen. When she heard the noise, she quickly ran out to take a look. First, she saw the pitiful dog lying on its side on the ground as if it was about to die. It stuck out its tongue and barked. From its barks, one could tell how miserable and painful it was. Then she looked at the door. Huamin's face was extremely gloomy. What's wrong? Yang Meirong asked. Didn't I say that I don't want a dog? Where did this beast come from? It almost bit me. Fortunately, I reacted quickly. Huamin's voice was very cold. This is a German shepherd that Chu bought for me because he was worried that I would be bored. It's been trained and is very obedient. It won't attack people easily. What do you mean by that? Don't tell me you trust a dog instead of me? Huamin glared at Yang Meirong. That gaze shocked Yang Meirong as if the person in front of her wasn't her daughter. Huamin had never been so fierce. Chapter 4301. Mian, that's not what I meant. Why do you miss your mom so much? Yang Meirong was shocked. Perhaps she felt that her attitude was a little overboard, so she softened a little. Kick this damn dog away. I don't want to see it again. But it's not dead yet. Yang Meirong glanced at the dying dog. But she almost bit me just now. If I didn't react quickly, I would probably be in trouble. Looking at Huamin's cold face, Yang Meirong glanced at the dog again. She said to the two bodyguards, take the dog out and find a pet hospital to see if she can be saved. Don't save her. Drag her out and beat her to death, Huamin said. Mian, she's still alive. How much is a dog's life worth? After speaking, Huamin glared at the bodyguards. Why are you two still standing here? Hurry up and do it. Didn't you hear me? Yes, Miss Hua. The two bodyguards carried the injured dog out. As for whether she would be beaten to death, that was their business. Huamin then placed the Hermes bag in his hand on the coffee table. He sat down on the sofa. No dogs in the future, do you hear me? Mian, when did you hate dogs so much? I remember you used to like them and always wanted to get a golden retriever. Yang Meirong looked at her daughter with a heavy heart. Uncle Jing used to like them, but he didn't like them anymore. People are fickle. At my age, I'm already indifferent to these animals. Yang Meirong lowered her head and didn't say anything. No cats in the future. No living creatures in the house, Huamin ordered. Okay, I'll listen to you. After all, as a mother, she cared about her daughter. Although Huamin's actions were a little inappropriate, Yang Meirong's love for her daughter didn't change. Mian, Auntie and I are making dumplings. Do you want to eat some? No, I don't have an appetite. I just came to take a look. Did Chu talk to you recently? Is there any news about your Uncle Jing? Uncle Jing? I'm afraid he won't be coming back. Huamin had long known that Jingda's clone, number 002, had been killed by Qin Chu. But in the current situation they couldn't directly say that it was Qin Chu who did it. The old lady was still foolishly waiting for her husband, but she didn't know. Mian, what do you mean? Do you know something? Let Uncle Jing do whatever he wants. Don't wait for him. Could it be that something happened to him? A living person left for so many days without coming back. What do you think? Huamian smiled viciously. Yang Meirong's heart tightened when she heard her daughter's words. Then she clutched her chest and fell onto the sofa. Huamin looked at her coldly. It was the nurse from the kitchen. When she came out and saw this, she hurriedly took out a quick-acting heart reliever pill from the medicine box. Then he fed it to Yang Meong. Rest early, I'll go back first. Huamian got up and walked out of the office. Feeling bored, she got up and left. She didn't care about her mother's life or death. Of course, this wasn't her mother. The nurse was very angry. After pouring a glass of warm water for Yang Meong, she complained, "Sister, is this your daughter?" "Yes." Yang Meirong nodded. "Why doesn't she look as good and filial as the rumors say? When you fell ill just now forget it, I don't blame her. It's not easy for her either. She's so old and lost a child. She must be sad." Yang Meirong had always thought that Huamin had become much colder because of the loss of his child. Chapter 4302. Even so, she shouldn't have done that to you. Should I tell Mr. Chin about this? No, no, no. Don't tell him. I don't want the two kids to fight. Yang Merong waved her hand. Huamin drove the sports car around the luxury stores and spent more than 1,000,000 yuan. He bought 2 bracelets from Cartier alone. She spent nearly 600,000 yuan and bought several new bags from big brands. She also bought some perfume and lipstick. In short, she spent more than 1,000,000 yuan. Then she drove the sports car home with a full load. As soon as she entered the house, her face darkened. There were 3 giant dogs in the house. 2 black dogs for 100 yuan. Although she didn't know what breed they were, she knew from their appearance that they must be cheap and expensive. As soon as Huamin entered the house, the 3 big dogs all ran over and barked wildly. The living room instantly became lively. Uncle Li and a few servants quickly held the leashes of the dogs to prevent them from charging at Huamin. But the dogs seemed to have gone crazy and wouldn't listen no matter how they coaxed them. The 3 dogs all barked at Huamin as if they would bite her to death if they let go. Who did this? She roared. She couldn't take it anymore. She had just experienced such a thing in Sky Blessing Court. She thought it was settled, but who would have thought that animals she didn't like would appear in South Hill Manor? A young lady. Sir bought her. She's quite obedient. I heard that she's been domesticated for a long time and can understand humans. She's been here for a few hours and has been quite obedient. I don't know why she's like this now. Uncle Li was also helpless. He didn't know what was going on. When Qin Chu sent someone to send her back, she was indeed very obedient. Everyone liked these 3 big majestic dogs. But why did the scene change as soon as the images came? No one knew. But Layla knew. She wasn't just her. As long as she was a clone, she would be rejected by small animals. The most obvious was cats and dogs. Jingde was also afraid of them before. Those small animals seemed to understand that they were not humans. So their attitude towards them was very fierce. She still remembered that Linya had cloned a foreigner in the underwater palace. That man liked zoos very much. Once he went to a safari park in the United States on a mission. Being attacked by a group of tigers. Perhaps it was because that person's combat power wasn't as strong as Layla's, so he was dismembered by the tiger. Could be said that he was eaten. In the end, everything was restored in the surveillance video. Later on, Linya repeatedly warned these clones not to get close to small animals. In fact, most of the clones were the same as normal people. They didn't have much fighting power and were even weaker than normal people. They would also fall sick. However, Layla was different. She was not an ordinary clone. She was a clone with a special constitution that had been modified by Linya. You could say that, in the entire underwater palace, Layla's combat index was the highest among all the clones. Could be said to be heaven-defying even to the point of being abnormal. That was why she established the Doomsday Death God, which specialized in doing inhumane things to instill fear in people. How dare he challenge Lu Yen to a one-on-one close-range combat fight and challenge Qin Chu? This was all because she had the right to do so. Drag these animals out and chop them to death, Huamin ordered. What? Uncle Li thought he heard wrong. Uncle Li had been at South Hill Manor for the longest time. He liked a young lady's quiet and magnanimous personality the most. Huamin had never said anything harsh, so Uncle Li was stunned when he heard her say that for the first time. Chapter 4303. Why are you still asking? I said drag these animals out and chop them to death. Huamian almost went crazy. If it weren't for the fact that there were so many people around her, she wouldn't have been so mad. If there weren't so many people around, he would have stabbed these damn things to death. Before Uncle Li could speak, Qin Chu walked down from the 2nd floor. Let me see who dares to touch my dogs. Huamin froze. It turned out that Qin Chu was home. When she saw Qin Chu, her expression immediately changed. Honey, you know how scared I am of dogs. Why did you buy 3 such big ones? I'm so scared. Huamin's tone was coquettish. But Qin Chu wanted to kill her even more. He didn't know where this monster had come from, but now it was causing such a mess in his house. As for his real Huamian, he didn't know where she was. If it weren't for the overall plan, Qin Chu really wanted to shoot this drama queen. I bought the dogs. But I don't like them. You've always liked them. Didn't you say that you wanted to raise a few Alaskan Malamutes and Golden Retrievers? That was before. I don't like them now. Really? Why didn't I know that your preferences changed so quickly? Chu didn't give her any face and questioned her directly. Honey, let's get this out of here first. Let's talk, okay? I don't think we have anything to talk about. This is my home. If you don't like it, you can leave. But, are you chasing me out? No, you're being unreasonable. I'm being unreasonable? Layla wanted to curse out loud and say, fuck. Chu was obviously making things difficult for her. Isn't that so? Otherwise, why would my dog only bite you and not anyone else? Is there a secret on your body? This was the first time Chu asked Huamin these questions in front of the servants. Her face turned green when she heard that Chu was openly provoking him. So he must have known something or discovered something. Or was he already prepared to tear him apart? What do you mean by that, Mr. Qin? What secrets could I possibly have? I don't know, but it's strange for the dog to see you. Is it my fault that I'm beautiful? Huamin sneered. Chu didn't say anything. He just looked at her coldly. Honey, I won't beat around the bush. Get rid of these dogs or else. That's impossible. Chu directly refused. So you want to force me to leave this house? I didn't say that. You said it yourself. Isn't that all the same? Hee, this is the first time in all these years that I've realized that you're such a hypocrite. She was infuriated as well. Hence she started retorting back at Chu. Hypocritical? Who do you think you are to say that? Chu snorted coldly and turned to go upstairs. I don't think I can stay in this house any longer. Then Huamin turned to leave. Uncle Li was an elder. Seeing the young couple like this, he was worried. So he blocked Huamin's way. A young lady, please calm down. Get out of my way, you old bastard. She was furious. No matter what Huamin did before, she had to live her life according to her personality. Uncle Li was taken aback by this old fart's scolding. Then Huamin drove away in his Ferrari. He didn't enter the house. Or rather, he was stopped by the dogs. Chapter 4304. Inside the presidential suite of the Ritz-Carlton, Huamin sent a WeChat message to Suyu. Huamin, are you there? Suyu, yes. Huamin, where are you? Suyu, I'm working overtime at the company. Huamin, when are you getting off work? Suyu, I don't know yet. I'm discussing the script with a few producers and directors. Recently, the company has a few wuxia movies to shoot. We've invested quite a lot in them. Huamin, wuxia movies? How old are you? Will anyone watch them? Won't you lose money? Suyu, no, I'm confident that it'll sell well at the box office. Huamin, oh, Suyu, what's up? Mion, are you looking for me? Huamin, yes. Suyu, what is it? Suyu put down the script in his hand, got up and walked to the window with his phone. Usually as long as Huamin had something to do, Suyu would do it. He would rush over even if it was urgent. Huamin, I left home. Suyu, did you go shopping? Huamin, no, I had a fight with Chu. I was kicked out. Suyu, that's impossible. Chu kicked you out? Huamin, I guess so. Anyway, I don't have a home now. Suyu, really? Huamin, I'm not lying. Suyu, Mion, where are you now? Huamin, the hotel. Suyu, which hotel? Huamian shared her location, which was the location she was talking about. Suyu looked down and saw that it was the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in the city center. Suyu, are you really at the hotel? How could this be? Huamin, it's a long story. Suyu, wait here. I'll get someone to pick you up. We'll talk when we meet. Huamin, why don't you come and find me? Suyu, that's not good. The media likes to create hype recently. I'm afraid that if the paparazzi set their eyes on us and take photos of us, we won't be able to clear our names. Suyu was in charge of an entertainment company, so he was very concerned about this. Huamin stayed in the hotel alone. Suyu went over at night alone. What was going on? Who would believe that they only chatted for a while? A single man and a single woman? Imperial Star had nurtured so many stars over the years, and this kind of thing happened all the time. Therefore, Suyu was quite sensitive about this. Upon hearing that Suyu was not coming, Huamin was clearly unhappy. Huamin, if you're not coming, forget it. Pretend I didn't say anything. Suyu, Mion, don't be angry. I'll get someone to pick you up. Huamin, it's okay. Later, no matter what Suyu said, Huamin didn't reply. Suyu was a little anxious. He first called Chin Chu. However, Chin Chu didn't pick up. Then he sent a WeChat message to Chin Chu, but Chin Chu didn't reply either. He didn't know if it was on purpose or if it was really inconvenient for him to pick up. Suyu wanted An to pick up Huamin to meet him at the company. However, he felt that An was also a man and everyone knew that he was Suyu's chauffeur. If someone took photos of them, it would still be bad. Therefore, Suyu thought about it and finally decided to let Han Yueyao go. Jiang Xiaowei and Zhu Lingling were Huamin's best friends. If they found out, it would be a big deal. With Zhu Lingling's personality, if she knew that Huamin had been kicked out of the house by Chin Chu, she would probably pick up a knife and kill him. Therefore, Siyu thought about it and decided to let Han Yueyao go. After receiving the order, Han Yueyao put on a mask and took a taxi to the Ritz-Carlton alone. She rang the doorbell for a long time before Huamin reluctantly opened the door. "Sister Mion, why are you here?" Seeing Han Yueyao, Huamin's cold face clearly showed that he didn't welcome her. This made Han Yueyao feel a little awkward. After all, Huamin had always been good to her. When she danced, Huamin even gave her fruits and took care of her. "Well, Sister Mion, Suyu asked me to come. What's the matter?" Huamin didn't let Han Yueyao in and blocked the door with a cold attitude. Chapter 4305. Suyu asked me to take you to the company. Han Yueyao didn't even dare to breathe loudly. She had a feeling that Sister Mion didn't like her. Then why didn't he come himself? He's afraid that the paparazzi will take pictures of him. Even I'm not afraid of him. He is a man. Why would he be afraid? Ridiculous. No. Suyu isn't afraid of being a bad influence. He's afraid of being a bad influence on you, Sister Mion, Han Yueyao explained patiently. Hearing this, Huamin didn't immediately refute. But she raised her head and looked at Han Yueyao carefully. You seem to know him very well. But after all, he's the big boss of the company and I have to flatter him from time to time. It's not surprising that I know Suyu well. Han Yueyao smiled awkwardly. I'm not going. You can leave. Sister Mion, tell Suyu that if he wants to see me, he should come himself. Don't let anyone else come. With that, Huamin closed the door and mercilessly shut Han Yueyao out. Han Yueyao picked up her cell phone and called Suyu. She reported the situation to him. Oi, you can go back first. I'll check on her later. Suyu licked his lips, overwhelmed with work. President Su, I feel Sister Mion is acting strange. She's acting strange recently. I think she has something on her mind. I'll ask her about it later. President Su, should we ask Sister Mion's husband to take her away? After all, they're husband and wife. I contacted Chin Chu, but he didn't reply. I see, you can go now. I'll handle it myself. Okay. Han Yueyao. Thank you. Before Han Yueyao could say anything, Suyu immediately hung up the phone. It was hard to hear him say thank you. Huamin poured cold water on Han Yueyao's hopes. However, Suyu's thank you warmed her heart again. Gee, you're so damn cute. You're so cute. I can't bear to give you up. What should I do? She looked at Suyu's name in the call log and murmured to herself. At this very moment on the other side of Earth, inside the underwater palace, Huamin was taken away by Messiah. After talking to her dad for a while, Lu Yan suddenly felt sleepy and couldn't keep her eyes open. Linya smiled and asked someone to send Lu Yan back to rest. Old Lu, come with me. Linya smiled at Professor Lu. Then Professor Lu got up and followed Linya. The two of them slowly walked back to Linya's room. At night, the white passageway would be lit up with blue lights. The lights illuminated the underwater world and the fish and jellyfish could be seen clearly. That feeling was like walking in a tunnel in the underwater world. The underwater tunnel in the ocean park was very romantic and beautiful. Old Lu, are you happy today? Yeah. Today is the happiest day I've had in the past few decades. Nothing can replace it. As long as you're happy. Professor Lu smiled. He had one hand in his pocket and the other hand holding Linya's hand. It felt like they were in love when they were young. It was especially beautiful. Professor Lu remained silent. Linya couldn't hold it in any longer. She turned her head to look at his aged face. Old Lu, don't you have anything to ask me? Linya asked. Chapter 4306. If you want to tell me, you'll tell me everything. Otherwise, I won't be able to tell you anything. Professor Lu was calm and didn't seem to have anything against Linya. Old Lu, between our daughters, do you like Mian more or Yen more? Linya held Professor Lu's arm and asked coquettishly. Professor Lu patted Linya's head lovingly. It was the kind of doting that a man would do to his beloved. Mian and Yen are both my daughters. Of course I like them as much. But, Yaya, which Mian are you talking about? Is it the Mian you arranged in China or the Mian we're talking about? Linya's expression changed slightly when she heard his words. She slowly let go of Professor Lu's arm. She looked at him coldly. When did you find out? Professor Lu was silent. It seems you came prepared. So, you went to Bali to see me? Yes. How did you know it was me? Linya couldn't figure it out. Shouldn't Professor Lu be thinking that she was in the cave in Iceland? How did he know she was awake? In this world, the only person who can clone a human other than me is you. Professor Lu looked at Linya with a complicated expression. You've seen a clone? You've seen Layla? That's impossible. She's never met you and you've never entered China. How did you know? Professor Lu seemed to know more about the truth than Linya thought. It would be a huge mistake to think that the professor was an idiot who didn't know anything. No, I've never seen Layla or your clone, but I know your cloning technology. Yaya Jingda died many years ago. I verified it myself. But you resurrected a dead man and went to Mian's adoptive mother's house to do evil. What are you up to? Isn't this a common saying in Chinese? Biting the hand that feeds you? It seems you've broken through from number 002. Old Lu, you're still as smart as ever. You haven't become dull with age. Yaya, you've changed a lot. I want to know what happened during the years we were apart. Professor Lu and Linya walked down the long underwater tunnel. He couldn't sense time here, nor could he sense anything in the world. It was as if everything was isolated from the rest of the world. When the professor guessed that it was Linya behind the scenes, he had already prepared everything. At this moment, he actually felt that the woman in front of him, whom he had loved deeply for so many years, was a stranger. Old Lu, I haven't changed. I've never changed. The me you saw in the past, or rather, the me you know, was just a disguise. The Linya now is my true self. You might be sad to say this, but this is the truth. I'm sorry, but I really love you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have married you and given birth to your children. Linya knew that since Professor Lu already knew everything, there was no point in hiding it. Instead of trying to deal with him with loopholes, it was better for him to speak frankly. With the professor's brain circuit, it was very easy for him to accept these ridiculous things. Yaya, so what is your motive? The professor asked gently, without a trace of reproach in his tone. It gave people the feeling that no matter what Linya became, he would still love her deeply. Chapter 4307. Old Lu, I want something. Linya finally revealed her purpose. Is it the thing you asked me on to ask me before? Professor Lu had already guessed that Huamin knew about the red demon because he was manipulated by Linya. Yes, Old Lu. I need the red demon. What do you want it for? I want to use it on my technology. Linya said vaguely. Your technology? Is it your clone army? How did you know? Linya widened her eyes in surprise. Professor Lu had only been here for a short while and the family of four had only had a meal together. Why did he know about the clone army? It was impossible for someone else to tell him. No one here dared to betray Linya. Looking at Linya's surprised face, Professor Lu smiled. He raised his head and looked around. He even reached out to touch the white crystal-like structure of the long corridor. How much did you spend to make this material? It's indeed very effective in keeping clones fresh. Old Lu. Linya's mouth was wide open. She didn't expect Professor Lu to see through such advanced technology at a glance. Yaya, we developed the cloning technology together back then. We also saw the drawbacks, dangers, and destruction, so we decided to destroy this technology together. That's why the red demon has been sealed indefinitely, but you didn't keep your word and faked your death to hide from me. You continued to secretly develop clones behind my back. What are your intentions? After the clone army is born, are you going to destroy the world? Or do you want to be the overlord of Earth? What are you trying to do by doing this? Old Lu, you're very smart. You guessed everything right, but you got one thing wrong. I didn't fake my death to hide from you, because all these years I've never died. I've always been living well. After hearing Linya's words, Professor Lu was slightly stunned. How is that possible? Could it be that the one in the cave in Iceland is also your clone? At this moment, Professor Lu was forced to think about Lin Ye's strange behavior. Congratulations, you guessed right. Then Yen is not my child. She's a clone of you and me. Professor Lu felt like his brain was about to explode. For so many years he had thought that his beloved wife was brain dead and lying in Iceland. Are you still racking your brains on how to revive her? However, the technology to revive the dead was something that no one in the world could do. Of course, Lin Yu was an exception. As for Lu Yen, the daughter he had loved for years, she was actually his daughter with a clone. The truth of this matter was truly hard to believe and hard to accept. Old Lu, don't be surprised. We loved each other. That's why you love my clone, right? I loved you too, but I won't give birth to Mion for you. But as Mion's biological mother, you imprisoned her here. She's pregnant and about to give birth. Linya, how can you be so heartless? Professor Lu felt a faint pain in his heart. He knew that everything that had happened just now was fake. What family of four? What family photo? Linya was just putting on an act to confuse them. She was a woman who could scheme against the people around her. How terrifying was she? Old Lu, I didn't mean to imprison Mion. I just want our daughter to succeed with us. Did you know that she inherited our excellent genes? She's a rare medical genius. With both of you helping me, I'm sure I'll succeed. So yeah, what do you want? Professor Lu looked at Linya with indescribable heartache. Chapter 4308. Old Lu, don't you want to be immortal? When Linya asked this question, she was a little mysterious and there was endless strangeness in that mystery. Professor Lu froze. He didn't expect that Linya's scheme was for immortality. Yeah, in the 6 realms of reincarnation, birth, old age, illness and death, these are unchangeable laws. It's the cycle of nature. Humans aren't an immortal species. I don't know what method you used, whether you found it out or what, but it's a terrifying thing in itself. The professor tried to calm himself down as he spoke. However, when he saw Linya's youthful face, he felt even more terrified. Could it be that she, on the other side of the world? At this moment, Huamin, or rather the clone of Huamin, was Layla. She used Huamin's body to seduce Qin Chu but failed, so she ran amok. Ever since she and Jingda 002 appeared in this city, there had been one murder case after another. They were all horrifying big cases. Gao Ran, the director of the Municipal Public Security Bureau, was about to lose his position. Even the mayor and secretary were in danger, and the rumors about vampires became more and more unscrupulous. But Layla had no intention of restraining herself. She had always thought that as an advanced species she didn't care about humans. They looked down on stupid and low-level humans, so they would still hunt for food as much as they liked. Sometimes, even when she wasn't hungry, she would torture and kill innocent people. She didn't dare to go back to South Hill Manor because Qin Chu had bought a few giant dogs. Or rather, she didn't dare to offend Qin Chu. After all, with Layla's combat strength, she shouldn't be afraid of a few giant dogs. So, she took the opportunity of running away from home and went to live in a hotel. Then she immediately contacted Suyu. Considering many factors, Suyu didn't come. Instead, he asked Han Yueyao, who had a good relationship with Huamin, to come. But when Han Yueyao came, she was sent away. After that, Huamin sent another WeChat message to Suyu. Huamin, it's fine if you don't want to come. Let someone else come. Do you know how I feel? I just feel that you're being perfunctory. Suyu, Mion, don't be angry. Don't be stubborn. I'll go find you now, okay? Huamin, no, don't come. Although Huamin said that, she knew that Suyu wouldn't leave her alone. After all, Suyu had always liked Huamin. If Qin Chu didn't come, Suyu would. He had guessed correctly. Suyu didn't want to upset Huamin, so he drove his sports car here himself. However, on his way to the hotel, he was stopped by a black Bentley at the intersection. Seeing the license plate number, Suyu was slightly surprised. Then he got out of the car. Qin Chu? Suyu had called him, but he didn't pick up or reply to his WeChat messages. So Suyu was surprised to see him here. Where are you going? Qin Chu asked him calmly. To the hotel. Are you going to see Mion? Qin Chu asked. Yes. Don't go. But this is between us. Don't interfere, Suyu. Qin Chu's tone was as cold as ever. Suyu was a bit annoyed by it. But he respected Qin Chu's attitude. Chinchu, you and Mion are husband and wife. I know I'm an outsider and shouldn't interfere. But don't you think you two have been acting strange recently? Chinchu didn't say anything. This isn't the first time. What on earth are you thinking? I don't believe that you have an affair, and I don't believe that you can't get over it just because she lost the child. I saw that you sent Pudding and Little Bean away. What on earth do you want? This was the first time Suyu had spoken so bluntly to Chinchu with such harsh words. Chapter 4309. Between me and Mion. It's not something that can be explained in a few words. Not even me. Seeing that Chinchu didn't want to say it, Suyu was a little sad. Suyu, let me ask you, can you be ruthless and leave her alone? No? Then you still like her, right? Suyu licked his dry lips and didn't answer. Forget it. If you want to help her, you can go. It's up to you. With that, Chinchu drove away. Suyu was dumbfounded. Chinchu appeared with such a premeditated plan, but he left without saying anything important. This caught Suyu off guard. At the door of the hotel suite, the doorbell rang. Huamin walked over and opened the door with a smug smile. He thought it must be Suyu. Therefore, in order to seduce him, she even wore a bathrobe. She had long wanted to take the opportunity to create some scandals with Suyu and embarrass Chinchu. Most importantly, she wanted to embarrass Huamin and make her a slut that everyone would hate. Did you know why Layla hated Huamin so much? Linya and Messiah were probably the only ones who knew this. However, the moment she opened the door, before she could react, two tall bodyguards grabbed her by the hair and dragged her out. What are you doing? Layla wasn't sure who these people were. Just as she was about to make a move, she saw Chinchu standing at the end of the corridor. Madam, sir invited you home for dinner. After the two bodyguards said this expressionlessly, they roughly led her out of the hotel. The hotel staff knew that they were husband and wife, so they naturally didn't care. Chinchu brought his men and kidnapped this woman from the back door. When Suyu arrived, he naturally didn't catch her. Then Suyu called Huamin's phone, but it was turned off and he didn't know where she was. Suyu was worried that something had happened to her, so he foolishly called Jiang Xiaowei. After hearing this, Jiang Xiaowei calmly analyzed the situation. Lord Su, don't interfere in their business, Jiang Xiaowei advised. Xiaowei, do you think I'm being nosy too? Suyu's heart chilled. That's not it. I just think that a person like Chinchu has always been reliable. If he told you not to interfere, then he might really settle it himself. If we interfere, it will complicate their relationship. Maybe. I'm unnecessary. Disappointed, Suyu called Jiang Xiaowei for a while. After comforting him for a while, Jiang Xiaowei drove away. After wandering around the streets for a long time, he realized that he was unfamiliar with this city. He didn't know where he was going, so he just wandered around the streets. Finally, he stopped at the entrance of Imperial Star's staff dormitory. Suyu froze for a moment. Then he pulled over, took out his phone, leaned against the driver's seat and sent a WeChat message to Han Yueyao. Suyu, are you there? Han Yueyao, no. Suyu, don't talk nonsense. Why are you talking if you're not there? Han Yueyao, oh, then let's start again. Sorry, the subscriber you called is not in the service area. Please try again later. Suyu, Han Yueyao, ha, are you dumbfounded? Suyu, is that how you talk to your boss? Do you want to quit your job? Han Yueyao, are you dumbfounded? It's after work. Whose boss are you? You're at most a passerby. Suyu, Han Yueyao, okay, I'll stop teasing you. What do you want, President Su? Suyu, come out for a drink. It's a little boring. Han Yueyao, you're in the mood? Where are you? I'll go find you. Suyu, right outside your dormitory. Chapter 4310. Han Yueyao, at the door? Don't play with me. Suyu, you'll know when you come out. Hearing this message, Han Yueyao put on her coat and opened the door. Sure enough, she saw Suyu's car parked by the side of the road. True. Then why are you sitting in the car? It's so cold. Han Yueyao immediately invited Suyu. To drink with you? I have wine in my dorm. Why don't you come to my dorm to drink? Han Yueyao had already changed into her home clothes, so she didn't bother to brush her hair and wash her face. So she didn't think much of it and invited Suyu in. But to her surprise, she was accused of seducing him with ulterior motives. Suyu thought this method was feasible, so he parked the car in the parking lot and went straight to Han Yueyao's dorm. They went directly to Han Yueyao's dorm room. To avoid the awkwardness, Han Yueyao changed into thick home clothes. It was a yellow suit with a duck pattern, and she wore a bunny ear headband to wash her face. She was super cute. Super home. Then her face was clean and there was nothing on it. It was rare to see Han Yueyao like this. After Suyu came in, he playfully pulled the bunny ear on her head. Not to be outdone, Han Yueyao punched Suyu. Look at you. You're a girl but you're always so rough. Which man will like you? Humph. Many people like me. I have millions of fans on Weibo. I don't believe that there's no man. Han Yueyao tilted her head. You're always bickering with me, so you didn't know whether to laugh or cry. After entering the dorm, he found it pitifully small. There wasn't even a sofa. This dorm room was the same as when Han Yueyao first moved in. The room she shared with Su Xiaoxiao was the accommodation arranged by Imperial Star for female newcomers. In order to be closer to Lin Heng's car repair shop, Su Xiaoxiao refused the mansion Suyu arranged for her. She lived in this 40-square-meter place. Later Han Yueyao moved in. They were very close and were even more reluctant to leave. Now Su Xiaoxiao had gone to the northwest to serve as a soldier. Han Yueyao was used to living here and didn't move out. Previously, her manager and assistant had told her that with how popular she was now, she could totally apply to Suyu for a private residence. It would also be more private to prevent paparazzi from following them. But Han Yueyao rejected it. He felt comfortable and safe here. After living there for a long time, he would treat it as his second home. Suyu hadn't paid attention to this place before, and this was the first time he had come in to take a look. He found that there was no sofa. The only place to put things was the empty bed where Su Xiaoxiao lived. On it were Han Yueyao's bags and scarves. I say, do you have any plans to move out? Suyu asked tentatively. President Su, are you going to buy me a luxurious house? She smiled as she poured water for Suyu. I don't have a mansion, but the company has a lot of luxury apartments in the city center. They are more than 100 square meters. I can give you one. Are you lending it to me or giving it to me? You're smart. I'll give it to you. Suyu chuckled. This little girl was too smart. But I don't want it. I haven't made much money for the company yet. I don't dare to take credit. To be honest, I'm not being pretentious. It's quite comfortable here. You said this rat's nest is comfortable? Suyu looked around the dorm room with disdain. Chapter 43:11. Isn't this rat's nest prepared by our company for our employees? Suyu was speechless. Aren't you embarrassed, President Su? Don't laugh. You can stuff a goose egg into your mouth. Why don't you have any burden of being an idol? The entertainment industry is all about character design. Look at the popular actresses. Some dress themselves as foodies, some dress themselves as silly girls, and some dress themselves as straight-A students. Look at you. I dress myself as Hinata. What do you think? Han Yueyao put her hands on her hips and smiled seductively. Who? Suyu didn't hear her clearly. Hinata. Who's Hinata? Suyu had never heard of her. She's Naruto's wife, Hinata, in the super popular Japanese anime Naruto. Come here. I promise I won't beat you to death. Suyu was fuming. He was talking to Han Yueyao about character design in the entertainment industry. But she was talking to him about anime with a straight face. Her IQ wasn't online at all. Come on, President Su. Drink some water to calm your anger. Han Yueyao held a glass of water and began to flatter him. Didn't you say you have beer at home? Suyu looked around with the glass in his hand and saw a small fridge in the corner. He was fascinated. It didn't look like it could store much beer. Yeah. There's beer. I can drink at least 7 beers. How many can you store in your crappy fridge? Suyu was doubtful. Who said I wanted beer? Han Yueyao rolled her eyes. What else? Suyu looked at her in confusion. Han Yueyao squatted down and pulled something out from under her bed. Then a cardboard box was pulled out without any warning. Suyu was speechless. Han Yueyao opened the box slowly and took out a small bottle. Jingdu erguote. It can hold 12 bottles in a box. Is it enough for you? Han Yueyao shook the bottle. Where did you get this? Suyu was shocked. It was the first time he saw a box of liquor in a girl's house. What kind of combat power was this? My dad sent it to me. It's not the kind sold outside. It's brewed with our own food and packaged it himself. Every year when it's the spring festival, he'll make some for his relatives and friends. It's very popular. The liquor is very fragrant and can't be bought outside. Your dad is really amazing, Suyu exclaimed. Then you see, experts are among the people. How about it, President Su? Do you want to drink? Sure. Suyu was in a bad mood, so he wanted to drink some wine to ease the depression in his heart. All right, let's drink this then. I'll go prepare some dishes to go with the wine. Then she ran into the kitchen. Then with lightning speed he made 4 dishes to go with the wine. Of course, they were all very simple, just a portion of drunkard's peanuts. And it took her less than 5 minutes to cook a plate of fried eggs. And a plate of cucumber salad with garlic. It was also very simple. This was probably the crudest thing Suyu had ever eaten in his life. No, the most simple and crude one should be the time when he was escaping from Yunnan when he ate corn paste. This was probably the poorest thing Suyu had ever eaten when he was drinking in the city. But he thought it was quite interesting. The two of them sat around a small table. They sat on a shabby stool. They drank cheap ergo too. I know why you're depressed. It's because of Sister Mion, right? Han Yueao looked at Suyu and asked him. Chapter 43:12. Suyu's face froze slightly. Then he sighed slightly. Let's not talk about her today. Hearing Suyu's words, Han Yueao wasn't stupid and didn't want to make Suyu feel gloomy. He changed the topic. President Su, what do you think of Miss Nia? Which Miss Nia? Suyu didn't know how to react. The great beauty Nia Lingxian. Oh, her. Suyu picked up his wine glass and took a sip of white wine. I think great beauty Nia is a good woman. In the past few years, Imperial Star has promoted many artists, but she seems to have the best reputation. She doesn't bully newcomers and respects seniors. She doesn't break any unspoken rules and doesn't cause any disputes about contract terminations. She doesn't create hype and acts normally. To be honest, I'm very envious of stars who can achieve this. I want to be like her and have no regrets. Little Nia is indeed a good person. Suyu picked up a piece of cucumber and put it in his mouth. Instantly the fragrance overflowed. For some reason his mood lightened a lot. Suyu praised Nia Lingxian highly. Of course, Nia Lingxian wasn't comparable to the green tea bitches like Jian Tong and Zhao Qingya. Many people are talking about you too. Did you two really have a relationship? Han Yueao began to gossip. Are you an artist or a paparazzi? Why are you so curious? Suyu was amused. I'm just curious. Tell me. I bet 500 yuan that you two had a romantic history. Then your 500 yuan is probably more worthless than Do Yi. There's nothing between me and little Nia. Really? Han Yueao obviously didn't believe him. It's no good lying to you. Why not? Great beauty Nia is beautiful and low-key. She's really good. President Su, I have no reason not to like her. Suyu chuckled and said, it's fine. If Mion hadn't appeared, I might have fallen in love with little Nia. After all, she's really outstanding and suitable to be my wife. It's just that, fate is playing with me. At the mention of Hua Mion, Han Yueao had mixed feelings. It turned out that it wasn't that Suyu didn't like Nia Lingxian. It was because after he got together with Hua Min, all the concubines in his harem paled in comparison. Then she felt that her friendship with Suyu seemed to be far away in the future. After all, Suyu's feelings for Hua Min would only deepen with each passing day, and would not gradually fade away. So that's how it is. Come, let's drink. Han Yueao smiled awkwardly and raised her glass. Just like that, the two of them ate a few simple dishes and chatted while drinking. Meanwhile, after Hua Min was taken away, Qin Chu did not go to South Hill Manor. Instead he went to a strange mansion. Hua Min, or rather Layla, tried hard to search her memory but found that Hua Min had never been to this place before. Let go of me. She struggled to break free and fell onto the sofa. Qin Chu walked in. Sir. The two bodyguards greeted him respectfully. You can leave now. I have something to say to her. Yes, sir. After the bodyguards left, Qin Chu glanced at Hua Min but didn't speak. You sent people to take me back? Is this how you coax your wife? Hee. Qin Chu, are you crazy? Hua Min questioned angrily. It was said that Qin Chu spoiled Hua Min to the extreme. In the past, Layla had envied him to death. Now that she saw it with her own eyes, she couldn't bear to look at it. Chapter 43:13. What do you think? Do you like it here? Chinchu raised his head and looked around. He seemed to be asking her about the house. Here? Where is this place? I've never been here before. Huamin said. This is my new mansion. It's a gift to you. For me? Huamin was a little confused. Yes, a gift to you. I believe you like it here. Huamin looked around and found that the decorations were very dark. The style was a mix of black and brown, giving off a very depressing feeling. The mansion was very big, but the overall feeling wasn't good. It felt like a haunted house or a haunted house. Honey, why did you give me a mansion all of a sudden? Are you feeling guilty because you haven't treated me well recently? Huamin's expression suddenly changed. He smiled and then stood up, because I don't want you to get angry and run around. You haven't been feeling very well recently. I think you shouldn't go anywhere. Stay here and rest. What do you mean by that? Hearing Chinchu's words, Huamin's expression immediately changed. It's for your own good. I hope you can stay here and rest. Then Chinchu casually picked up her bag. He opened it and took out her ID, passport and cell phone. Then he threw the bag back onto the sofa. Chinchu, how dare you put me under house arrest? Huamin finally understood Chinchu's purpose. He was going to put her under house arrest. If you understand it that way, there's nothing wrong with it. Chinchu's lips curled up into a faint smile. Then he turned around to leave. Huamin clenched her fists tightly. Then she rushed up. She reached out to grab Chinchu's collar, but a bodyguard appeared out of nowhere and stopped her. Madam, you should stay here and rest. Don't disobey Mr. Qin's orders. Chinchu, you can't do this. You can't do this to me. I should have done this to you a long time ago. Chinchu turned around, his face expressionless. I want to see my mother. Can you send me to Sky Blessing Court? I don't think Mom would want to see you. Chinchu finally turned around and left. The door slammed shut. Then the lights dimmed. She raised her head and glanced at the corner again. He was on the verge of breaking down. There were probably no less than 100 surveillance cameras. Chinchu not only put her under house arrest, but also closely monitored her. Could it be that this man had discovered something? That shouldn't be the case. He never had any evidence against me. A villa was guarded by 4 foreign bodyguards. Chinchu put Huamin or Layla under house arrest. He was not doing this to destroy her immediately, nor was it to force her to tell him where Huamin was. He just wanted to see how strong this woman was. Only then would Chinchu have the chance to carry out the next step of his plan. Layla was locked in the villa. On the surface she looked scared and panicked, but in reality, to her this was nothing. It was just that she couldn't unleash that inhuman power in front of Chinchu. At this moment, on the other side of the earth. After the professor failed to ask for the red demon for the first time, Linya locked the professor in a white room without any communication. Lu Yen was also injected with some unknown drug and fell into a deep coma. She was sent back to the crystal coffin. Only Huamin was still awake. Inside the magnificent palace. Master. What's the matter? Linya's expression didn't look good. She had been recalling what the professor had just said to her. Our remote device detected that Miss Layla is in China. She seems to be in some trouble, Messiah said. Chapter 43:14. What trouble? Linya turned her head expressionlessly and glanced at Messiah. Miss Layla seems to have been put under house arrest by Chinchu. Hee, then she's really useless. Linya laughed mockingly. Miss Layla might also be afraid of what Master told her before. She doesn't dare to release non-human powers in public, especially in the country. It won't be good if the local government is alerted. She might be captured and used as a test subject when she goes back. That's why she's useless. I gave her so many special attributes, but in the end she only knows how to eat children. Useless things, Linya scolded. Should we help her? Messiah asked softly. What help? If she can't even solve this small matter, let her fend for herself. Linya's attitude towards Layla was extremely cold. Huamin always said that Linya didn't deserve to be a mother and was especially heartless to her. That was because she had never seen Linya's attitude towards Layla. If she saw it, she might know what true heartless meant. Yes, master. Seeing that Linya didn't want to care about Layla's life at all, Messiah knew what was going on. In the past, when Linya missed her daughter, she would occasionally be a little nicer to Layla because she treated her as Huamin. She treated her as Huamin's replacement. But now Huamin was right in front of her. She was no longer in the mood to care about Layla. After all, she was one of her test subjects. In her words, she was a flawed test subject. Although Layla was physically stronger and faster, exactly like Huamin, she didn't have a human brain. However, she didn't have a human brain, nor did she inherit the excellent genes of the professor and Linya like Huamian. Layla didn't know much about medicine, but Huamin was a true genius. Therefore, even though Linya was selfish, she still had some affection for Huamin. After all, he was her biological son. Actually, Linya's love was somewhat similar to Huasiqian's. Both of them thought that he loved Huamin very much and wanted to give her the best, but he never cared about her feelings. Where's Mion? When Linya mentioned Huamin, her eyes unconsciously became gentler. Miss Mion, she's having breakfast. How's your appetite? Not bad. You ate quite a lot. You seem to be in a good mood. Yes, I'll go and see her. With that, Linya walked down the temple and headed towards Huamin. Messiah didn't dare to say anything and just followed behind Linya silently. Linya's face was probably the most beautiful oriental face. Therefore, no matter what she wore, she was devastatingly beautiful. Huamin felt that when she was wearing the queen's outfit, she gave people a very distant feeling. However, when she wore casual clothes, she still felt very distant. Perhaps it was because she was too beautiful. Inside Huamin's room, she sat in front of a table with dozens of breakfast plates from all over the world on it. They all tasted pretty good. She had been here for a while. Huamin realized that the people here seemed to be otherworldly. At least he had never seen Messiah eat anything. It was as if everyone only prepared breakfast, lunch, and dinner for her. At first, Huamin was conflicted and wanted to leave this place. He hated Linya, so his appetite was very bad. However, recently the baby had not been moving and the delivery was delayed. Huamin began to worry about the child, so he began to replenish his and the child's energy. Therefore, when Linya came in, Huamin was eating wonton noodles with relish. Mian, you have a good appetite today. Are the wonton noodles delicious? Linya smiled. Chapter 43:15. As soon as Linya came in, Huamin's good mood was completely ruined. She kept a straight face and didn't look up. She just lowered her head and replied impatiently, "It's okay. Miss Mion, the noodles were made by Master herself," Messiah added. She seemed to want to see their relationship improve. Upon hearing Messiah's words, Huamin immediately put down his chopsticks. Then he picked up the bread beside him. Obviously, after knowing that Linya made it herself, she didn't want to eat it and completely rejected this bowl of noodles. "Messiah, you can leave first." "Yes, master." Linya walked over elegantly and sat across from Huamin. Then she picked up an orange and patiently peeled it. "Oranges contain a lot of vitamins, so you have to eat more of them. Back then, when I was pregnant with you, I really liked oranges. Your father bought me a lot of them. At that time we were on the run in Dongtao town, so it was inconvenient. Your father bought almost all the oranges in town. I even joked that after you were born, I should name you Little Orange." This was a very warm topic. When Linya recalled this, her face was filled with happiness. However, he couldn't tell if she was sincere or not. After all, this woman was too good at acting. "In the blink of an eye, you're already so old. Your father is much older and has a lot of white hair," Linya said. "Isn't it normal to be old? Everyone gets old. Birth, old age, illness, and death are the laws of nature," Huamin replied coldly. "Mion, do you think I'm old?" Linya reached out her slender hand and placed it on the back of Huamin's hand. Her hand was cold. The moment she touched Huamin, her heart skipped a beat. It was as if she was afraid for no reason. Huamin quickly pushed Linya's hand away. "You'll always be young and beautiful, all right? If you want to hear people praise you, I suggest you look for your subordinates. After all, my ability is limited and I have a strange personality. I don't like to flatter people. If I say too much, I might say something unpleasant. Don't be disappointed. I know you have something against me." Linya looked at Huamin calmly. Huamin was so angry that he put down the bread. She raised her head and glared at Linya. "I don't just have a problem with you. I'm so disappointed in you. Let's not talk about our relationship for now. You put me under house arrest, locked up Yen and captured Dad. Then you put on a show of family reunion. What do you think? Dr. Linya, have you had enough fun? Don't you think it's fun to have the whole world act with you? Mian, let me ask you a question first. Answer me honestly. Go ahead, Huamin replied snappily. Do you want to live forever? I want to. Although I don't look that good, I also want to stay young forever. It's best if time can always be fixed on my current appearance. I'm 30 years old, steady and mature, and I can cuddle with my husband forever. What Huamian said was purely a feeling. It wasn't what she really thought. This was because she knew that the concept of immortality was impossible to achieve with the current technology of the human race. It could only appear in novels and movies. If Mommy has a way to live forever, are you willing to help me? So that we can live forever together. You mean, you have a way to live forever? Huamin looked at Linya suspiciously, not sure if she was telling the truth or not. Chapter 43:16. In Sea City, China. Probably because he was in a bad mood, Suyu drank some white wine and got drunk. Han Yueyao was glad to see that Suyu was a little drunk. She secretly sent a WeChat message to An, come to my dorm and pick up President Su. President Su is in your dorm? And was surprised. Yeah. Huh. Are you two already? Yeah. We're drunk. Then I'll pick him up tomorrow morning. You can. And had always wanted his boss to end her single life. He knew that his boss was in love with Dr. Hua, so he naturally wanted her to have a new relationship. Han Yueyao was a good girl, so and wanted to set them up. What are you thinking? There's nothing between us. President Su is just in a bad mood and wants to have a drink with me. Hurry up and come and pick him up. Hurry up. I'm going out later and won't be home. It'll be bad if he gets drunk again and hits the wall. You're such an unromantic woman. You didn't take advantage of such a good opportunity. Don't regret it in the future, and chuckled. Regret your ass. Hurry up and come. If he vomits at my house, I'll kick him out. Although Han Yueyao said that she couldn't bear to kick Suyu out. She was already happy that Suyu came to her when he was in a bad mood. Suyu was in a bad mood and was a little drunk after a few drinks. His words were also unclear. Han Yueyao felt that no matter how much she liked Suyu, she didn't have to take advantage of him when he was drunk. This wasn't an honorable thing to do. In less than 20 minutes and came. He helped the sleepy Suyu away. Han Yueyao, let's drink another day. Suyu was obviously not convinced. When he left, he even said that they would drink another day. Afraid that he was cold, Han Yueyao tied one of her scarves around Suyu's neck. Then he helped him get him into the car and watched the car drive away. After Suyu left, she put on her coat, bought some fruits and flowers and went to the hospital. Southside Sanatorium. Lin Heng was very happy to see her. So late. Why are you here? Yes, I heard that you weren't in a good mood during the day. Han Yueyao recalled that Lin Heng's friends had called her during the day and told her that Lin Heng was in a bad mood after the dialysis. Have a seat first. Is it cold outside? Lin Heng looked at her gently and asked. It's not cold. This winter is much warmer than the previous years. Of course, as a foreigner, I don't know about this. I saw it on the local news. Yeah, it hasn't snowed much this winter. The weather is getting warmer and warmer. Do you want an apple? I'm not eating anymore. Where are the bananas? Lin Heng shook his head. Then I'll wash a pear for you. It'll moisten your lungs and stop your cough. Before Lin Heng could respond, she picked up a snow pear and walked to the washroom to wash it. After wiping it clean, she handed it to him carefully. Thank you, Yao Yao. Don't mention it. What's wrong? Is the dialysis very painful today? I heard that you weren't very cooperative today. Han Yueyao asked him. Lin Heng took a small bite of the snow pear and lowered his head. Yao Yao, I don't want to continue the treatment. I want to leave the hospital. Han Yueyao's heart sank when she heard Lin Heng's words. Why? It's not like you can't cure it. I'll take care of the money. Don't think too much. It's not about money. I just think that instead of living here suffering, I'd better use the rest of my time to do something I really want to do. We'll do it when you're better, Han Yueyao persuaded him. But I know that I won't be able to recover. I don't have much time left. Chapter 43:17. Don't talk nonsense. Don't say such unlucky things. Lin Heng's self-abandonment made Han Yueyao unhappy. Displeased, Han Yueyao scolded him. Yao, the doctor told me about my condition. You don't have to hide it from me. If I can't find a suitable kidney for transplant, I won't live for more than a year. A year is a long time. We'll find one. Heartbroken, Han Yueyao comforted him in a soft voice. What if we still can't find one? Lin Heng looked into Han Yueyao's eyes and asked word for word. Han Yueyao was silent. She didn't know how to answer. She just wanted to cry. Yao, do you know that although I run a repair shop, play with cars and modify cars, it's not my real dream. Don't tell me you want to be an actor. Han Yueyao teased him. No. The entertainment industry isn't for me. I really want to go back to the small mountain village and build a small house with my own yard. I want to grow some vegetables and enjoy the view of the flowers in the spring, the green grass in the summer, the yellow leaves in the autumn and the white snow in the winter. Then I'll have a fire in my little house, go hunting in the mountains, eat wild game, drink wine and eat meat. I'll be free. Sounds good. I want to go too. Han Yueyao smiled. I get better. I'll go back to the mountain village and be a hunter. You can be a village girl. What do you think? Ha. Good. Han Yueyao laughed. But a village girl isn't as beautiful as you. Your skin is so soft and tender. It's a pity. Lin Heng smiled gently. It's okay. It'll turn red in a few days in the wind. Yao, you don't have to pay for me anymore. Let me leave the hospital. If you really want to help me, then buy me a small house in the village. Help me fulfill my wish for the rest of my life. After I die, you can sell the house. Consider it as returning the money for the house to you. This way I will feel at ease. Tui. Don't talk nonsense. You won't die, you're still young. Xiao even said, she wants to give you girls in the army. Let's not talk about this anymore. Come dance for me. I really like the first dance you did on Dancing Allure. That was your first time on the stage. You were a little nervous and a little excited, but that dance was still beautiful. Even when I watched it on TV, I felt like this girl was really spiritual. Deal. With a smile, she stood up and played the song on her cell phone. Then she dressed in casual clothes and danced for Lin Heng in the ward. She had never thought of herself as kind or great. However, he was willing to fulfill Lin Heng's small wish. He also sincerely hoped that he could get better. After all, this was a young life. The next morning at GK Corporation, after the morning meeting, Qin Chu returned to his office and immediately turned on the surveillance camera. He saw that everything in the villa was normal, as if nothing had happened. The woman was having her breakfast in the living room, taking her time. However, at 5 in the morning, there was a murder on the west side of the city. The victim was a 12-year-old boy. His heart was missing and all the blood in his body had dried up. Qin Chu didn't know how she left the villa without anyone noticing. President Qin, someone's looking for you. Who is it? She said it's a young lady's friend. It's the superstar. Han Yueyao, Assistant Yang reported. Han Yueyao. Qin Chu found the name familiar and suddenly remembered who this girl was. Let her in. Qin Chu closed his laptop and stood up solemnly. President Qin, am I disturbing you? Han Yueyao walked in politely and nodded at Qin Chu. Chapter 43:18. No. Have a seat. Qin Chu was still cold and aloof. Assistant Yang immediately made a cup of coffee and placed it before Han Yueyao. Thank you. Han Yueyao smiled at Assistant Yang politely. She didn't have the aura of a superstar at all. Instead, she was down-to-earth and approachable. After all, Han Yueyao was now the most popular newcomer. Do you need something from me? Yes, President Qin. I know it's not appropriate to talk to you directly. I wanted to talk to Sister Mian, but her cell phone was turned off. Yeah. Mian hasn't been feeling well recently and is recuperating. You can talk to me if you need anything. Qin Chu tried to make his tone calm, not wanting to scare the girl away. President Qin, I won't hold back. I'll tell you. Here's the thing. Han Yueyao told him what she needed help with. Qin Chu nodded calmly. I understand what you mean. You want to treat your friend, right? Yes. He's hospitalized at Southside now. Yes, President Qin. His name. Lin Heng. Hey, I got it. I'll contact them tomorrow and follow up on this matter. President Qin, I heard that you and Sister Mian both studied medicine. Although you haven't practiced medicine in recent years, your medical skills are superb. My request may be unreasonable, but my friend is very young. I really don't want him to leave so easily. So I can pay for his medical expenses and surgery. I just want you to help him think of a way. Han Yueyao knew it was wishful thinking for her to ask Qin Chu for help with her current status. He had no obligation to help her. But at the thought of Lin Heng's world-weary attitude, Han Yueyao felt sad. So she risked her dignity and came to see Qin Chu alone. At first she was worried that Qin Chu would refuse to see her. But now it seemed that Qin Chu wasn't as cold as the rumors said. I received your request. Since you're Mian's friend, I'll do my best. Qin Chu never made promises easily, so he didn't make any promises. However, since he had expressed his willingness to help, he would definitely not sit idly by. Unsure, she stood up slightly. He bowed to Qin Chu. Thank you, President Qin. You're welcome. Then I'll leave first. I'll wait for your news. All right. Qin Chu nodded. Then she left the GK group. Assistant Yang had worked for Qin Chu for many years and had a deep relationship with him. Therefore, when she came in to clear the coffee, she didn't forget to tease him. President Qin, Han Yueyao looks prettier in person than on TV. Her skin looks good and she's very approachable. Well, so, are you interested? No. I'm fine with my wife. Huh. Assistant Yang was famous for being henpecked. Everyone in the company knew that. Is Xin at the company? Director Jing is here. He seems to be arranging work in the small meeting room. Yes, tell him to come to my office when he's done. Yes, President Qin. After Assistant Yang left, Qin Chu was a little tired. Obviously, putting that monster woman under house arrest wasn't the best way. He had to find a way to prove that she was the murderer. Then he could immediately ask Gao Ran to arrest her. Otherwise, he really couldn't do anything to her. After all, Mian might still be in their hands. Qin Chu leaned back in his chair with a lot on his mind. At this moment, a video call invitation came from his phone. He immediately felt refreshed. Chapter 43:19. Ever since Huamin's accident, he rarely made video calls. Picking up the phone, Qin Chu looked at Pudding lovingly. Baby, Daddy, what are you doing? Pudding pretended to be mature, but her childish voice betrayed her. Before Qin Chu could finish, Pudding glanced at the furniture behind her father and interrupted him. It looks like you're still working overtime at the company, right? It's not really overtime. It's my family business and I don't get paid for it. But you didn't listen to us. Take care of yourself. Pudding's tone was a little reproachful but also full of love for her father. Qin Chu couldn't suppress the warmth in his heart, and a happy smile appeared on his face. Daddy is still young and doesn't need to take care of himself. I'm not like your grandpa who's about to retire. Tisk's second grandpa is better at maintaining his body than you. He runs every morning and doesn't eat anything too salty or sweet. Then he goes to bed at 10 o'clock sharp every night. His biological clock is very punctual and very regular. Daddy, you have to learn from second grandpa. I know, my little princess. Qin Chu's eyes were filled with love only when he saw his daughter. At this moment, Little Bean stuck her head in and interrupted. Daddy, I'm your little princess. She's the big princess. You're wrong. Yes. Daddy, I was wrong. Humph. I know you don't care about me. Little Bean began to get jealous. How can that be? I love you both as much as I do. Send me an 888 yuan red envelope and I'll forgive you. Little Bean knew how to blackmail her daddy. Qin Chu wasn't angry. He just smiled. 888 yuan is too little. Daddy will give you 8,888 yuan, okay? Hey. Comrade Qin, I know you care about me. Little Comrade Qin, you blackmailed your daddy for so much money. Are you going to buy luxury goods for Buyan? Qin Chu teased her. No. I can't afford luxury goods. Buyuan's requirements are very low. I'll go to Disney and buy him a set of Avengers characters. You're so nice to Buyan. Do you have any gifts for Daddy? Qin Chu pretended to feel wronged. Little Bean covered her stomach and pointed at her daddy as she laughed. Oh my God, Comrade Old Qin, you actually know how to act like a spoiled child. People will always improve. Qin Chu was amused. Just because it's the first time Comrade Qin has acted coquettishly, I'm going to buy you a big present. What gift? Seeing Little Bean's gestures, Chin Chu was looking forward to seeing how big it was. Tell me, do you want to eat Black Swan cake or Haagen-Dazs ice cream cake? Chin Chu was speechless. Is this the big gift you were talking about? Chin Chu asked her. Don't you think it's a selfless sacrifice that I'm willing to let you eat my favorite cake? Yes. Comrade Chin, you're so generous. Do you love me? Little Bean pointed at her handsome daddy on the other side of the screen. Yes. Do you love me a little more than you love my sister? Little Bean set a trap for her daddy. Fortunately, Chin Chu didn't fall for it. His mind was still clear. I love you both as much as I love you. Humph. Daddy, you always say the same thing. Sporing. Little Bean shook her butt and ran away. Pudding didn't move closer to the screen until her little sister and daddy were done. She whispered to Chin Chu, Daddy, how's mommy doing? Chapter 43:20. Give me a little more time, Daddy. I'll handle it well. Pudding was probably the only one who could understand Chin Chu's words. The little girl nodded obediently. Daddy, when we go back, we'll be a happy family. I'll be able to see the mommy who loves us so much, Daddy, and this family so much, right? Yes. One word was Chin Chu's promise to his daughter. Then Daddy, you have to be good too. When we go back, we'll prepare a gift for you. Is it cake or ice cream? Chin Chu smiled. Neither. It's a gift that suits you very well. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. Daddy, let's go eat first. They eat more. Daddy hopes that when you come back, you'll be a little chubbier than when you left. Of course. We won't let you down, Daddy, Little Bean answered immediately. He was extremely cute. At this critical moment, perhaps only talking to his daughters could make Chin Chu temporarily forget his worries. 6 p.m. The employees of GK Corporation had all gotten off work, and only a few departments were working overtime. As usual, Chin Chu didn't get off work on time. He seemed to be waiting for someone here. 15 minutes later, the door to the president's office was pushed open, and a young man wearing an ancient Russian military double-breasted coat walked in. His short silver hair looked especially enchanting in the night. Brother-in-law. Fei, come. Although Chin Chu and Xiao Fei didn't have much contact, they seemed to know each other well. This time Lu Yan went missing and Hu Min was replaced. They were in the same boat. Therefore, Chin Chu secretly contacted Xiao Fei and Xiao Fei rushed over overnight. Hearing Chin Chu's words, Xiao Fei nodded. He walked towards Chin Chu. Chin Chu pointed at the surveillance footage and asked Xiao Fei to watch it. He watched for about 10 minutes. It was the villa where Hu Min was imprisoned. However, the footage was normal for more than 10 minutes. There was nothing unusual. Brother-in-law, what are you showing me? Take a closer look at the image. Chin Chu reminded. Xiao Fei stared at the screen again. Suddenly, his pupils dilated as if he had discovered something. This is a scene that has been tampered with. It's done by an expert hacker. Most people wouldn't be able to see any clues. Yes. Chin Chu nodded. Did you decipher the image? Almost there. How are your hacking skills? Chin Chu admitted that his hacking skills were not as good as Hu Min's or Lu Yan's. Most people did not have such high talent, so he thought of Xiao Fei. From this incident, if Hu Min was switched, then Lu Yan's disappearance in Yunnan must have something to do with this woman. Therefore, it would be better for the two of them to work together to deal with this mysterious monster. I'm not as good as Yan, but I can try. Xiao Fei took off his coat and threw it on the sofa. Then he quickly typed on the keyboard. After 3 seconds, his expression was one of slight disappointment. It's too fast. I can't remember so many passwords. Brother-in-law, why don't we try it together? Xiao Fei reacted quickly. He suddenly remembered why Chin Chu had asked him to come. Chin Chu nodded. When the set of passwords comes out, you memorize the first half and I'll memorize the second half. Then we have to type out the password within 60 seconds. No problem. I'll take care of my part. You read the rest to me. You have to speak fast. Okay. Chin Chu nodded again. Thus, the two men with genius brains worked together for the first time. 3 minutes later. It's open. Xiao Fei was pleasantly surprised. Chin Chu was also a little excited. The two of them worked together and finally cracked the image that had been tampered with by an expert. Open it and see. Qin Chu could not wait to see how the monster did it. Chapter 43:21. Qiao Fei quickly opened the surveillance footage of the lake that lasted for 10 minutes. Seeing this, the two big men trembled with fear. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they might have thought that it was a supernatural scene filmed by a supernatural director. In the footage, Huamin, no, at this moment she should be that monster. She disappeared from the villa at an extremely fast speed like a ray of light. And there was no movement, so the bodyguards didn't notice. And she didn't fly out of the door at all. She flew out of the window upstairs. The figure outside couldn't be seen clearly. The reason why it was like a ball of light. Then they switched to the next scene. When she came back, there was blood at the corner of her mouth. She was holding something in her hand that was red. Zoom in, Qin Chu said. Qiao Fei moved the mouse and zoomed in. Then the two men fell silent. It was a bright red heart. In fact, that thing was still beating in her palm. At that moment, the two men were so disgusted that they felt nauseous. Could be said that these two men had strong mental fortitude. If it were anyone else, they might have run to the bathroom to vomit. After the video stopped, the two men were silent for a long time. She never eats? Qiao Fei asked. I think so. Qin Chu had carefully observed this matter and found that this woman didn't like the food she usually ate. Whether it was rice, noodles, pastries, vegetables, or fruits, she wasn't interested in them. Even the seafood that Huamin liked to eat in the past, she found it smelly and dirty. She didn't like to eat it. Originally, he was wondering what she liked to eat. Then, after the murders happened one after another, Qin Chu had some guesses. But it had always been just guesses and he couldn't verify them. But today, after working together with Qiao Fei to crack the password of this video, only then did they clearly see the terrifying side of this monster. It also confirmed that Qin Chu's guess was right. This woman knew that Qin Chu had installed many cameras to monitor her every move 24 hours. So when she committed the crime, she deliberately used hacking methods to tamper with the video so that ordinary hackers and even experts like Qin Chu couldn't crack it. So the truth was really so cruel. Brother-in-law, what exactly is this thing? This was the first time Qiao Fei had seen such a thing. To be honest, he was a little shocked. To be honest, I don't know either. But I'm sure of one thing, she's not human. Qin Chu had long known that this woman's behavior was strange. He had also seen it in the image just now. Her speed was as fast as a beam of light. In 10 minutes he could go to a place more than 10 miles away to kill someone, take their heart, and then return as if nothing had happened. These were all things that exceeded the limits of human beings. Could it be a ghost? Qiao Fei's imagination was running wild. Of course not. She's living in the real world in broad daylight. Plus, she has the same face, voice, expression, and memory as Mian. If I didn't know Mian well, I would have been fooled. Everyone believes her. Even Su Yu and Lingling didn't recognize her. So, Sister Mian went missing a long time ago, just like Yen. She went missing in Yunnan. Yes. Then who is she? Qiao Fei was puzzled. She should be the woman with the golden mask that Su Yu mentioned. Qin Chu was almost certain of her identity. So, this Sister Mian is actually from the Doomsday Death God? Qiao Fei widened his eyes and began to understand the whole story. Chapter 43:22. Something like that. Qin Chu agreed with Qiao Fei's guess. Or rather, he had thought so for a long time. That's a bit ridiculous. Qiao Fei felt the information was too much and needed time to digest it. Suddenly, Qiao Fei thought of something important. He looked up and said to Qin Chu, "By the way, the professor was on the island." "What island?" Qin Chu asked immediately when he heard the word professor. "Luyan's island." "I'm on the same island." "You saw the professor?" "Yeah. I haven't been able to contact him." Qin Chu told him the painful truth. If he had contacted the professor earlier, the situation wouldn't have been so complicated. "Uncle Lu said he wouldn't contact you because you seemed to be being followed. Maybe he was afraid his whereabouts would be exposed." "Where is he?" "Where is he now?" "He left," Qiao Fei said. "Where did he go?" Qin Chu had a feeling the professor knew a lot of secrets and the disappearance of Yen and Mian at the same time might have something to do with the professor. "I don't know where he went. He didn't tell me. You know his whereabouts are always mysterious. But he left an important clue. What is it? Qin Chu suddenly felt it was the wisest decision to let Xiao Fei come here. Uncle Lu said the person behind the disappearance seems to be Yan and Mion's mother. Hearing the words, Qin Chu was shocked. It took him a few seconds to react. How is it possible? Dr. Linya died a long time ago and her body is still in Iceland. Qin Chu thought he was well informed. I thought so too. Uncle Lu didn't tell me the details, but I don't think he lied. After he left, I sent people to investigate. Dr. Linya's body was long gone in Iceland. Maybe Uncle Lu was right. For some reason Dr. Linya has woken up. Otherwise she wouldn't have taken Yen and Mion at the same time. Sister Mion doesn't know martial arts, so she's easy to catch. But Yen is so powerful that few people in the world can defeat her in a one-on-one fight. If it's Dr. Linya, I won't worry about their safety. After all, she's their biological mother. Xiao Fei's words made Qin Chu fall into deep thought. It had to be said that although Xiao Fei looked young, every word he said was indeed thorough and meticulous. Qin Chu could think of all these logics. Did the professor tell you this himself? Qin Chu was still not sure. Uncle Lu didn't say so much. He only said he suspected Dr. Linya did it. He didn't say it out loud. I have a feeling that there are secrets between Uncle Lu and Dr. Linya. Of course, they're top secrets and Uncle Lu wouldn't say it out loud. So the professor has gone to find Dr. Linya? Qin Chu said. Think so. But we don't know where to start. The professor is too powerful. Almost no one can track him, unless he contacts us. It seems the professor has gone to find the truth. Fei, I have a favor to ask of you. Brother-in-law, what is it? You'd better find a way to mobilize your men and Lu Yan's men to investigate the Doomsday Death God at any cost. No problem. Leave it to me. Hey, I'm going to talk to that monster. Qin Chu stood up. Chapter 43-23. Brother-in-law, be careful, Xiao Fei reminded him. It's fine. If she wanted to kill me, she would have done it a long time ago. Qin Chu's lips curled up slightly. Then he and Xiao Fei split up at GK headquarters. Qin Chu was right. The fake Huamin he saw in the video was a psychopath. Even if Qin Chu, Xiao Fei, Rick and Suyu worked together, they still wouldn't be a match for her. They weren't of the same species, so they couldn't be compared at all. So, during this period of time, this monster lived in South Hill Manor as Huamin. Although her attitude was a bit strange, she didn't cause much trouble. Otherwise, with this monster's methods, South Hill Manor would have been bathed in blood in less than half an hour. Thinking back, Qin Chu felt that his decision to send his parents and the twins away was the best decision he could have made. Jixin and his mother-in-law didn't seem to be within the monster's attack range. It seemed that she didn't care. On the way to the villa in the suburbs, Qin Chu thought about the ins and outs of this incident. The professor, the resurrected Linya, the Doomsday Reaper, the Yunnan kidnapping, the Golden Masked Woman, the missing Lu Yan and the replaced Huamin. After the big explosion, Qin Chu later found that there was no woman among the pieces of the body. In other words, the ultimate boss that Hua Xiqian wanted to kill the most wasn't dead. So, that woman was the one beside him now? Thinking about how she snuck into their lives, Qin Chu felt a chill run down his spine. Fortunately, he found out in time. Otherwise, if he was really fooled by her, he wouldn't be able to tell the real Mion from the fake. Then when Mion came back, how was he going to face her? Fortunately, he passed the test. Qin Chu felt a little excited. He felt like he was getting closer to the truth. At this point, he wasn't so nervous and worried anymore. Because he was sure of two things. First of all, Hua Mion wasn't dead and their child might still be alive. Secondly, if Linya was behind all this, then Mion and Yan's lives shouldn't be in danger. This way Qin Chu could go all out against this monster. Of course, he couldn't fight it head-on because he still couldn't find any way to deal with this monster. A deserted villa, sir. When Qin Chu came in, several bodyguards greeted him. Is she inside? Yes. Have you ever been out? No, it's been inside the whole time. It seemed that the bodyguards did not notice that the woman had used such a short period of time to go out and commit the crime like a ray of light. If they watched the video where the password was unlocked, they would probably be dumbfounded as well. Qin Chu didn't say anything and walked in. Huamin, or rather Layla, was wearing a long nightgown and combing her hair in front of the mirror. This action was extremely strange. It gave people a feeling of déjà vu from a horror movie. Seeing Chin Chu come in, she smiled at Chin Chu in the mirror. Her eyes were half smiling. You're here. Are you planning to lock me up for the rest of my life? No, I can't lock you up, Chin Chu said. Honey, what do you mean by that? Look at how obedient I am. I'm not crying or making a fuss. I'll listen to you obediently and let you torture me. So, was the heart last night delicious? Chin Chu asked her calmly. Layla froze for a moment. Honey, what are you talking about? She pretended not to understand. Your hacking skills are very good. You can restore the surveillance footage to a high degree and deceive everyone. I have to admit that you're very capable. Chin Chu looked at her word by word. Oh, it seems like it's cracked? Layla put down the comb, turned around and smiled charmingly. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.